Okay, so this is the best spot I have in my RV to film this. Introduction. Not sure how far I'll get with the video, so I'm going to say introduction. It's very rare that I film a book review and release it. I've done like twice, and both the times it's been for an ARC review, either on Instagram or YouTube. I've done a review for an ARC copy. This time, I am not doing a review because of an ARC copy. I am doing the things that I see the author may have gone wrong with this book. Now, before you guys all come after me, it is not a self-published book. It is the first of like 7 or 8 books in this series. We, as a family, travel to different campgrounds. They have like a library of donated books. This book I picked up because it sounded interesting. My son said it sounded interesting, and I'm reading it aloud. And I think we're in chapter 10, and we've come to a point of, do we really want to keep going? Because every time I read this book, I have to change words to what they should be. I like the book. We're going to keep reading it soon, hopefully. But it's a professionally, published book. It's been edited. I'm just wondering why. And I thought, well, maybe this was like an early release, and this author from this book has re-edited it or something. I was able to find it on Amazon, and I was able to look inside the book. In the first chapter book, exactly the same. The errors, which I'm not sure if it's actually real intentional errors, because this was released back in 2005 or 2015, something like that. I'll look it up and I'll let you guys know exactly, because I'm going to bring the book on screen here. When I get the book out, I'll show it to you guys, and I'll show you examples of why this book is just horrendous to get through. There's grammar errors in the book consistently throughout it. So I'm not sure if it's just the way that the author was taught to write, or the editing house was okay with it, or this is how it was back then when the book was published. And it's not hundreds of years ago. It's within the last 15 years or so. So without further ado, let me introduce to you the book. Alright, it's this book. It's backwards. We're going to talk about the book. So this book is by an author, Carey, Fessler. It's a book foiled. This is a description on the back, and this is why I picked it up to start reading it aloud to my child. 2 best friends, a top secret ingredient incident, a souvenir, a wild cross-country adventure. It's 1947 on a U.S. Army base near Roswell, New Mexico, and 11-year-old Kate's friend and neighbor Billy shows her a secret. A CIA agent arrives at Billy's house to recover the top secret items and threatens the family, warning them to never talk about the incident ever. Pretty catchy. I'm liking the blurb on the back. It's really good. Special Agent Falco informs them of their sudden reassignment to Germany. Billy, not wanting to move to Germany or return his treasures, begs Kate for help. Feisty and fiercely loyal, she agrees to hide him. Thus begins a most unusual road trip in which the 2 friends use their wits, their knowledge of the terrain and geography around the base, and sheer determination to evade capture. Kate must also reach her grandfather more than 200 miles away and warn him how the secret poses a dangerous threat to anyone involved. Their race has begun, and there's no turning back. I picked this book up for several reasons. It's a cross-country adventure. We've been traveling cross-country. It's set in Roswell. We went to Roswell. I thought it'd be a really good book. I'm flipping to the book now. I'm going to read you a sentence here. Alright, so I'm going to read some of it, okay? Alright. Billy stood at the dresser staring at the foil. Do you think do you think he forgot I have 3? No. Kate pressed an ear to the door. The sound of her rapid heartbeat echoed inside her head. She closed her eyes and strained to listen. What gives you the right to use intimidation and violence in my own house? Said Sergeant Thompson. For all those grammar nerds out there, and authors who write anything, I think, and even my 9-year-old kid was like, Mom, that's not right. It should be saying, what gives you the right to use intimidation and violence in my own house? Asked Sergeant Thompson. Maybe I'm out of line here, but I think it should be saying asked instead of saying said. And it's throughout the entire book. Anytime someone says something, it's said. Doesn't matter if it's a question mark, said. Said. All the time. And if it was and, it just bothers me to no end. And all my kids, they know grammar because I drilled grammar into them and they know it's not right. So I guess that is my little tirade of, if you're going to publish a freaking book, can you take the time to make sure that it's properly edited, please? I think I'm going to take a moment to say, yes, I've made mistakes in my own writing and I'm still learning. But this book, it says, okay, in the copyright page right here, it says, published by Foeg, F-O-E-G, Melbourne, Australia. All rights reserved. So maybe I'm wrong here. All right, near the back of the book, it says, are we going to the Butte? Question mark, quotation mark, Kate said. So this is the whole book. So maybe I'm getting annoyed for no reason. Maybe it's supposed to be like that. But I don't know. Like the spelling's like Americanized spelling. So, and the person is like, has like a bunch of other books out. So maybe, I don't know. You tell me. Do people in Australia have different grammar than elsewhere in the world? But if I'm right, and this is aired, that means there is hope for everyone else out there writing books and editing. Take this as a learning example, I guess, right? Okay, well, that's it of my little tirade. I don't even know if I'm going to publish this, but we'll see. Have a good day.